Okay, next question is Donna Kane, who has asked me if I could invite 6 people to dinner, past or present. Who would they be and what would I cook? And I think a lot of people who know me probably think coming to dinner at my house wouldn't be a great idea because I'm not what you call a fantastic cook. But I did like the idea of who I could possibly ask to come to dinner with me. So the first person that I chose is Christine Lagarde, who is the French woman who is the head of the IMF. And I used to work in finance, and certainly not at the level of Christine. And I kind of look at her and think, God, I wonder if I'd worked a bit harder, could I have been her? But she's very competent and very clever, and I'd really like her to be part of my dinner party. The next person I'd like to ask would be Commander Chris Hadfield, who's a NASA astronaut and who has been tweeting from space, and he's been tweeting these fantastic pictures of Earth. And he writes some really great stuff about what it's like to be up in the space shuttle. And when I was about 10, I wanted to be an astronaut, and obviously that was something else I was never going to be any good at. But I'd love to have Chris along to chat with him about his experiences. And then to liven up the party, somebody from the past, I'd like Jane Austen to come along, because I'd like to talk to her about being a novelist and what it was like for her writing as a female novelist back when she was writing, and whether she felt that she was looked down on because she was a woman writing, or whether she felt that the guys were getting far more attention, whether people thought then that they were far more literary than her, which seems to be the case today, I think. So I'd like to have Jane along so we can have a little bit of chat about female fiction. I'd like also to ask Rafa Nadal to come along. I'm a big tennis fan. Would have loved to be a tennis player, something else I can't do. But I love watching him play. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great personality on court. And he would add a certain attraction, I feel, to my dinner table. And then I would like to ask Tina Fey to come along. Tina Fey is the American comedian who did just great work taking off Sarah Palin during the last American elections. And she was just fantastic. And she's very funny and she's very witty, and her biography is very funny and very witty as well. And so I think she'd be able to bring a bit of joy and humour to our gathering. And the last person that I'd like to bring along would be my dad. Because my dad passed away when I was about 19, and we got on really well, and he was very supportive of me, and very supportive of my kind of idea that I'd like to be a writer, and he never got to see any of my books, so I'd like him to come along. And my dinner guests are going to be stuck with my one thing that I'm quite good at cooking, which is teriyaki salmon with steamed rice and steamed vegetables, and they would get some strawberries dipped in chocolate afterwards.